Hey, good morning, everyone. Glenn Calloway from the basement. I was a minute into doing this video and the frickin' phone rang. So let's hope it doesn't. If it rings again, I'm just going to let it ring. Today, I'm going to bring back my character, Deadglen. Now, Deadglen is a big Grateful Dead fan, which I am anyway. The name Deadglen comes from the record store that I frequent in Coburg, Ontario, called Zap Records. They have like 4 or 5 Glens who shop at this store regularly, and to identify them, everyone has a nickname, and there's a Zappa Glen and then a Beetle Glen, and I'm Dead Glen. So that's where this comes from. Forever known as Dead Glen when I do Grateful Dead videos. Today I want to talk about, I'm going to rank my favorite Grateful Dead live releases. Now, I'm not including Dave's picks, Dick's picks, or anything that you need to actually go to their website and order from them. These are official releases, typically done by Rhino, and you can pick them up on Amazon or wherever you want to pick them up. A couple I took out of the big box sets, but there are also, I'll show you, they always release like a 3D set, a compilation of everything that's in the big box. So you can get that stuff if you can't afford the big box sets. So let's get started. I do not listen to a lot of Grateful Dead prior to 1970. A lot of people that's their favorite era with Pigpen. Well, Pigpen was still there in 1970, but he really drove the band in the earlier years. And I picked Fillmore West, 1969. Comes in a nice set. It's a 3 CD set. It's just got some great tracks on it. Morning Dew, which was written by a Canadian, by the way. Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, classic blues song. I'm a King Bee, another great blues song. Cosmic Charlie, Turn on Your Love Light, which was a real showstopper for them back in those days. Of course, Dark Star and St. Stephen and the 11. We Bid You Good Night was the way they end it. It's it's well recorded, and it's good stuff for early Dead, if you're interested. Next, I'm going with something that came out of the In and Out of the Gardens box set. Again, you can buy a compilation set of this, a 3D CD set, but this is a show, because I want to specifically talk about certain shows on this ranking. This is from September 20th, 1982. A lot of fans are, like real heavy Deadheads, are not into the 80s and 90s stuff. There's some of those that are my favorite, as you'll see. So this, I just love the set list. They do start off with Shakedown Street, which is, I think, a great track, and New Minglewood Blues. El Paso, they do a great Marty Robbins song. They always do a great job, El Paso. Side 2, they do Scarlet Begonias and Fire on the Mountain back to back. And then Man Smart, Woman Smarter. Then we get Terrapin Station Suite, which I absolutely love. Then we go into the drums and space, and I'm not a big fan of that. It's live. It's when you see drum solos and stuff. On record, do you guys like drum solos on records? They should edit them down. But then they go into Truckin', the other one, Stella Blue, which is a beautiful song, Scarlet Magnolia, and finish it off with the only hit they ever had, Touch of Grey. Good stuff. Next, another one from a box set. This is from the June 1978 box set, but this show is from June 19th, 1976, Capitol Theater, Passaic, New Jersey. Again, you can buy a comp from the set. But wow, what a set list. So 3 of the songs that I love the Grateful Dead do together are Help Is on the Way, Slipknot, and Franklin's Tower. Just whenever I see that, I just go, oh man, that's heaven for me. And that's the way they start off the show, with those 3 songs. What else is on this first disc? Cassidy, which is about Neil Cassidy, the crazy dude who hung out with the Dead and was with Ken Casey and all those guys. Looks Like Rain, beautiful song. Tennessee Jed's a great song, which Levon Helm used to play a lot in his sets. Playing in the Band, great song. It's about 19 minutes, I think. Might As Well's a great song. Samson and Delilah, I love. The final disc has got Dancing in the Streets on it, their disco version of Dancing in the Street. Cosmic Charlie, Round and Around. Going Down That Road, Feeling Bad. One More Saturday Night, and Not Fade Away to end it. So, great show. Next on my list will be Duke 78. Now, this is a legendary show. Sound-wise, it's good, except for the Dire Wolf, which is one of my favorite songs. Don't Murder Me. The vocals drop right out of the song. I don't know why they included it in here. I guess to give you the full show, but really I think a bad mistake. They should have left it off. What I do is sing the lyrics myself. It's like dead karaoke, I call it. But anyway, starts off with Jack Straw from Wichita. Lay Your Money Down. Great track. Dire Wolf, like I said. Beat It On Down the Line. They do a great version of Mama Tried. Is that Merle Haggard? Mexicali Blues, one of my favorite Grateful Dead songs. Losers on here. Second disc, Bertha. Good Lovin', the cover of the Rascals track. It Must Have Been the Roses, beautiful song, and U.S. Blues, fantastic rocker. Disc 3 is just fantastic. Estimated Profit, Eyes of the World, which is one of my favorite Grateful Dead songs. Then it goes into a drum thing with the Rhythm Devils, and then Truckin', Wharf Rat, and Round and Around again. Pretty good set. This is a more recent one right there. Next, from the Pacific Northwest, the big box set with the beautiful artwork design and everything done by an indigenous person up in the Northwest. This whole box set was 73 and 74 tour of Oregon and Washington State and Vancouver, BC, and this show that I picked is from University of Washington, the Edmondson Pavilion, Seattle, 5/21/74. Now, I want to talk about this for a minute. This is an example of one of the comps. So this is the comp disc that came with it. It's fantastic. I highly recommend this one if you can find it. It's Pacific Northwest 73, 74. Believe it if you need it. It's fantastic. Anyway, the reason I wanted to bring it, because from March 74 to October 74, the Grateful Dead toured with a sound system called the Wall of Sound, which was developed by Stanley Owsley, the big LSD guy who was a big sound guy as well. Here is a picture of the Wall of Sound. As you can see, that's crazy. What else they got? I don't know if you can. Anyway, the Wall of Sound. Let me tell you about this thing. This is crazy. If you're not familiar. Like I said, it was only used from March to October 1974. It's 6 independent sound systems. Each instrument has its own sound system. Vocals, lead, rhythm guitar, piano. The bass is hooked up to some kind of a quadraphonic system which breaks down each individual string, the 4 strings of the bass guitar. Each has its own sound system, so they can manipulate the sound on each string, and it's just insane. There's 604 speakers, 89 300 watt amplifiers, 3 350 watt amplifiers, total of 26,400 watts of power. This thing was nuts, and no wonder they could only use it for a short time. Can you imagine tearing that down and putting it back together? But it was pioneering in those days for sound systems. It really was. So anyway, let's get back to why I picked this CD, or why I picked this show. Again, from picking the wrong disc, from the Heck Edmondson Pavilion, Washington, University of Washington, Seattle, Washington, 5/31/74. Love the set list on this. Me and My Uncle, great song. Brown-Eyed Woman, Beat It On Down the Line. Deals, one of my favorite Dead songs, which came off a Jerry Garcia solo album originally. Mexicali Blues again. It Must Have Been the Roses, just a beautiful song. The Race Is On, George Jones cover, fantastic. Scarlet Begonias. El Paso, again. Road Jimmy, Money Money, Ship of Fools. Side 2, Weather Report Suite, China Doll, which is another beautiful song, playing in the band U.S. Blues. The third set, Big River, Johnny Cash cover, Stella Blue, Round and Around, Eyes of the World, Wharf Rat, Sugar Magnolia, Johnny Be Good, Chuck Berry classic. Fantastic stuff. Oh my God, what's next? Next is University, Ithaca, New York, 1977. Again, it's the set list, man. Start off with the New Minglewood Blues. Loser, great song. El Paso again. Just love El Paso, Marty Robbins song. They loved each other. Jack Straw from Wichita. Deal. Lazy Lightning and Supplication. Brown-Eyed Woman. Mama Tried again. And Road Jimmy. Now, Disc 2 is the one that I love. They do their disco version of Dancing in the Streets. When I first started hearing that song in their sets, I just kind of I thought it was kind of hokey, but it just gets to you after a while, man. It's just hypnotizing. Dancing in the Streets going into Scarlet Begonias, Fire on the Mountain, Estimated Profit. What a great freaking set. And then the third set was St. Stephen, Not Fade Away, back into St. Stephen, Morning Dew, and One More Saturday Night to end it. Wow, fantastic stuff. Okay, now we're getting into the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My top 5. You always talk about live stuff. You got to talk about Europe 72. I don't think the band was ever tighter. Of course, they went back in the studio when they got back and did some editing and subtracting and additions to the song, to the recordings. But it's fantastic. Anything from Europe 72. I picked May 26, 1972, the Lyceum Theatre, London, England, 4 discs. That's my little hype sticker. I believe I also have this on vinyl. Okay, and it comes with a little decal there too. Grateful Dead cast. And let's talk about the set list. Promised Land. I love when they start with Promised Land. It's just such a great old song, and it really rocks. It's a great way to start a show, which they did a lot in the 72, 73 period. Sugaree, great song. Mr. Charlie, Black-Throated Woman, Loser, El Paso again. Man, that's a great track. Dire Wolf, Playing in the Band ends the first set. Then He's Gone. It's great. He's gone. Damn. Like a steel locomotive rolling down the track. Cumberland Blues, one of my favorite Grateful Dead songs off of Working Man's Dead. Jack Straw from Wichita. Chinatown Shuffle, and then China Cat Sunflower, I Know You Rider. Again, when I see those two together, it's just my sweet spot. I frigging just lose my mind. And then they go into Not Fade Away and Going Down the Road Feeling Bad and back into Not Fade Away. Now, which is interesting is my buddy Sam is playing in a band where they do a few Grateful Dead songs, and they're doing it that way. They're doing Not Fade Away into Going Down the Road Feeling Bad and then back into Not Fade Away. So I imagine the guy who put that set list together, Sam is probably a fan of Europe 72. Set 3 was Truckin'. Then we got the drums and all that stuff. And then Morning Dew again, the other one, and Sing Me Back Home. Disc 4, Me and My Uncle, which is a great song. Ramble on Rose, a great song. Sugar Magnolia, Casey Jones, Riding That Train High on Cocaine. And One More Saturday Night. Boy, Europe 72. Fantastic stuff. Next, Warfield Theater, October 9th, 1980. October 10th, 1980. Acoustic Dead. It comes out as this album, Reckoning, which is the first one I had. Now, I didn't want to show Reckoning because I think it's a compilation of a couple of different shows, but this is the one to get, Reckoning. If you like acoustic music, you will freaking love this. Sam, this should be your Grateful Dead go-to, man. You'd love this. I love this. This is one of my all-time favorites. Obviously, I ranked it number 4, but Dire Wolf, The Race Is On, George Jones, these are all done acoustically. Oh Babe, It Ain't No Lie, It Must Have Been the Roses, Dark Hollow, just a classic bluegrass song. China Doll, they do a beautiful job of that gorgeous song. It's a sad song, but Been All Around This World's an old traditional kind of a folky thing. Monkey and the Engineers, kind of a funny little ditty. And Jack a Rose, a great song. Deep Ellum Blues, Cassidy, To Lay Me Down, Rosalie McFall, which Jerry would do with David Grisman, I believe, as well. Bird Song, and of course my favorite song of all time, Ripple, which ends the set. But I would get this. This is the complete show. Number 3. I had this on my iPod, which is how I've been listening to it. For some reason, I didn't have a physical copy of it and just ordered it this weekend. But I love this frickin' show so much. I've just been listening to it on my iPod, and the playing is fantastic. I love the sound of it. It's just great. The guitars are up front. They sound great. Jerry's playing is really inspired on this. But it is June 1978, June 10th, RFK Stadium, Washington, D.C., where they did a double bill with the Allman Brothers. 4-disc set. I paid $45 Canadian for 4 discs. Not bad. There's the hype sticker right there. Man, it sounds good. I was playing this all day yesterday. Again, they start off with Morning Dew on this, which is just such a sad. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the song Morning Dew. It's about 2 people waking up in the world it's a scorched earth. They're the only 2 people left after a nuclear explosion or whatever, and really poignant song. It's gorgeous. Beat It On Down the Line, Ramble on Rose, Jack Straw. Looks Like Rain's on here. Box of Rain, which Phil Lesh wrote for his father, who was dying of cancer, which is the opening track on American Beauty. Race Is On, again, the great George Jones song. El Paso, again, Marty Robbins. Second disc is just exquisite. Bird Song, which is a tribute to Janis Joplin. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Another beautiful song, lyrics by Robert Hunter. Playing in the Band, Eyes of the World, Stella Blue, Big River, the Johnny Cash song. Third disc is Round and Around, Dark Star, He's Gone, Wharf Rat, Truckin', Sugar Magnolia, and the 4th set features Dickie Betts and Butch Trucks from the Allman Brothers. They do a Dylan cover, It Takes a Lot to Laugh, Takes a Train to Cry. They do That's All Right Mama, Promised Land, Not Fade Away, Going Down the Road Feeling Bad, Not Fade Away Again, and Johnny Be Good. Fantastic. 2 to go. Now, what I said earlier about people not wanting to, not digging the later stuff too much, my second favorite Grateful Dead live is from 1990, 3/29, 1990. The whole set was called Wake Up to Find. It's a big box set, I think. And anyway, or this is just one of the shows from the big box set. I'm not quite sure. There is a box set that focuses on this whole tour. Branford Marsalis, the great jazz sax player, sits in on this whole thing, and that's why I love it, because my favorite songs on it are the songs like Bird Song and Eyes of the World that he really, really shines on. I think this is a great album. Brett Midland's in the band here. If somebody was looking for a Grateful Dead that just sounded real good and polished and everything, this is a really good one. Yeah, it starts off with Jack Straw, then Bertha, Ramble on Roses on here. Great cover of Dylan's When I Paint My Masterpiece. I said Bird Song. Promised Land ends the set. Eyes of the World, Estimated Profit, Dark Star and Drums inside disc 2. And then disc 3 goes back into Dark Star, The Wheel, Throwing Stones, Turn on Your Love Light, Knocking on Heaven's Door. Fantastic. Number 1, The Dead comes back from the European tour. That summer in August, they play in Veneta, Oregon, August 27th, 1972, the hottest day on Earth. It was like well over 100 degrees. The fans were like just scorched. You can hear announcements that they're sending fire trucks around to shoot water all over the crowd, keep them from dropping dead. And but their playing was absolutely incredible. This is a fantastic sunset. Sunshine Daydream comes with a DVD of their show too. But just incredible stuff. I'm gonna try to hold it up here. Highly recommend this one. Number 1 for me. Starts off with Promised Land. Great version of this. The band was just rocking this whole thing. It's fantastic. Sugary, Me and My Uncle, Deal, Black-Throated Wind. Then they go into China Cat, Sunflower, and I Knew You Rider. That's a sweet spot for me. Mexicali Blues. Next set, playing in the band. He's Gone. Steal the Face Right Off Your Head. I love that. I love that line. Jack Straw, Bird Song, Greatest Story Ever Told. Disc 3 is Dark Star, El Paso, Bring Me Back Home, Sugar Magnolia, Casey Jones, One More Saturday Night, and disc 4 is a DVD. That's my number 1. There we go. God, 22 minutes of Grateful Deadness. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just love this band so much. And everyone have a great Sunday. Sam and I will be uploading our second song tomorrow. And I mentioned the title of the song in a couple of those sets. Interesting. A little hint for you. Take care.